So they have hit 10 doubles in the first 2 games of this series, and the Indians' offense continues to limp badly. The Indians in the 2 games have scored 3 runs total on just 8 base hits, and they'll have their hands full today in the nightcap because Steven Matz can be a dominant left-hander, and he'll be on the hill for the Toronto Blue Jays. And, of course, the Indians are going to counter with a youngster as Sam Hentges is going to get the start here in Game 2. The Indians and the Blue Jays will have another series coming up in the month of August when the Indians will go to Buffalo as they'll play a 4-game series up there. Buffalo is, of course, now where the Toronto Blue Jays are calling their home for the last 4 months of the season. They played their first 2 months down in their spring training site in Dunedin, Florida. The umpiring crew for the nightcap, the crew chief, Bill Miller, will be making the calls at home plate. Gabe Morales is at first. Corey Blazer is the second base ump. And Ryan Addington is going to be your third base umpire. The Indians in this second game will go with the red jerseys, the navy blue and white trim, and the white pants. And the Blue Jays go back to those all powder blue uniforms, both the jersey and the pants. They almost look like pajamas with that powder blue color. And so the Blue Jays, the way they swung the bats in them on Friday night, they'll revert back to them here in Game 2. Sam Hentges is on the hill for the Indians. The left-hander, 24 years of age, 6'6", 245. Hentges fastball in the mid to upper 90s, curve, slider, and changeup. First time the Jays have seen him, and vice versa. It's an all right-handed hitting lineup as Hentges delivers today's first pitch in the nightcap. It's in there for a strike. And we're underway at the corner of Carnegie and Ontario. 56 degrees now the temp. The next pitch is delivered down low, and the count is 1-1. Hentges is working quickly. Third base side of the rubber with that abbreviated windup and pitch. And it's down and in, ball 2, 2-1. Hentges is making his 4th start. He's also worked 4 times out of the pen. The 2-1, it's a check swing and a pitch in the dirt. He went around on the appeal at first, and the count 2-2. Marcus Semien, 4 for 8 in the series. Had a double in the opener today. Semien back at second. Longtime shortstop of the White Sox and A's. Now the 2-2. And it's low, full count. Semien has really become a leader on this club. He has taken shortstop Bo Bichette under his wing, and they've been inseparable. Now the 3-2 offering. And Marcus Semien swings and sends a pop-up onto the right side of the infield. Second baseman Cesar Hernandez will make the catch, and that is out number 1. The Indians have had a lot of trouble with the wind this weekend. The Blue Jays have had none. They haven't had one problem whatsoever dealing with the windy conditions. Eddie Rosario is in left, Harold Ramirez in center, Josh Naylor in right, Yu Chang at first, Cesar Hernandez at second, Ahmed Rosario at short, Owen Miller at third, Rene Rivera catching. Here's Bo Bichette, the pitch to him. And he hits one high in the air to left, fairly deep. But Rosario has room, and the left fielder pulls it down. That'll bring up Vlad Guerrero. Now, granted, the Indians haven't seen anywhere close to all of the teams in the American League this season. But hard to imagine there's a more aggressive early in the count swinging team than these Toronto Blue Jays. Two down, no score. Guerrero DH'd game 1 at first in the nightcap. They think he is a Gold Glove caliber first baseman. He takes a pitch inside a ball. He moved across the diamond once they made the acquisition of Marcus Semien. Guerrero lost 40 pounds since last summer. The pitch to him, and he sends a smash up the middle. To his left with a stop going to his knees. Rosario gets up, and Ahmed Rosario throws him out. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. doesn't hit anything softly. But a 1-2-3 first inning for Sam Hentges.
This is Jim Rosenhaus, and you are listening to the Cleveland Clinic Indians Radio Network.
Hey, it's Geraldo Rivera. You've got the Indians on now. Have me on tomorrow morning from 9 to 10.
On WTAM 1100.
Left-hander Steven Matz delivers, and Cesar Hernandez takes high and wide. Ball 2, 2-0. Matz, 30 years of age, 6'2", 210. 4-pitch mix. Sinker, slider, curve, changeup. The pitch, and it's a called strike. Good sinker there. He throws his sinker mid-90s. Matz, the longtime New York Met, works in the middle of the pitching slab, the southpaw's pitch, and Hernandez pops it up. Shallow center, second baseman Marcus Semien camped under it with a one-handed grab, and that is out number 1. That'll bring up the shortstop, Ahmed Rosario. Defensively, Lourdes Gurriel in left, Jonathan Davis in center, Randall Grichuk in right, Vlad Guerrero at first, Marcus Semien at second, Bo Bichette at short, Santiago Espinal is at third, and Danny Jansen behind the plate. Rosario, right-handed hitter at short. Matz into the wind and the pitch, and it breaks inside, ball 1. Rosario batting .241, couple of homers, 11 RBIs. The next pitch, that's a called strike. That'll even the count. Steven Matz comes in with a record of 6-2 and an ERA of 4.28. The next pitch waved at, pulled the string, 1-2. Matz, 10 starts, no complete games, 5 innings to start. 10 strikeouts, 2 walks per 9 innings. The pitch, way outside, and he works in a hurry. His last outing, he got a win against the Yankees when he went a season-high 6 2/3 innings and gave up 1 run, struck out 10. The 2-2, swung on, grounded, foul outside of first. Sandy Alomar coaching at first, Mike Sarbaugh at third, and the managers, DeMarlo Hale, the bench coach filling in, Terry Francona, should get back into Cleveland at about 4 o'clock tomorrow morning after his daughter's wedding. The 2-2, swing and a miss, chased the pitch down and away, and Matz has struck out Rosario for out number 2. As far as the pitches Matz uses, he throws his sinker almost twice as much as any pitch. Throws that sinker 45% of the time. Then his changeup, 25%. Curveball, slider, both about the same amount, right around 15% each. Jose Ramirez batting right-handed, takes, it's up high, ball 1. Ramirez, .254 batting average, dozen homers, 26 RBIs. No score, first inning, 2 down. The wind and the pitch. A swing by Ramirez and another weak pop or fly. Right field, foul ground. Caught near the stands by Grichuk, the right fielder. Well, there's been a very distinct difference.
Game 1 first pitch at 3:10. WTAM 1100.
Oscar Hernandez DHing in the nightcap. Had a home run in the opener. No score, second inning. Sam Hentges, the big left-hander, with a 1-1 pitch, and Hernandez takes way inside, 2-1. Both Hentges and Matz waste no time between pitches. Hey, did you know your local Toyota dealer has 11 different Toyotas built in the U.S., all with Toyota Care, 2-year no-cost maintenance? Go to buyatoyota.com. Breaking ball drops in there, 2-2. Hernandez batting .317, 8 homers, 26 RBIs, despite missing 3 weeks with COVID. He swings and misses at a pitch away, and a strikeout for out number 1. First strikeout for Hentges. That'll bring up Randall Grichuk. He's hitting 5th, and in game 2, he is playing in right field. Whether you're shipping from or through Cleveland, Choose Global Transport, Northeast Ohio's preferred provider for transportation and logistics management. Blue Jays trying to slow Hentges down a little bit. The wind and the pitch, and it's down and in, ball one. Sam Hentges is coming off his best outing, working on a normal 4-day rest period. Starts the windup with his hands up high, delivers, and it's down and away, 1-1. Hentges, his last time out against Detroit, went 5 innings, gave up 3 runs, struck out 7, but man, this is a vastly superior opponent to Detroit. The pitch, inside and low, 3-0. Bullpen in good shape. Aaron Savali went 6 in the opener. Indians with another doubleheader tomorrow against Chicago, beginning at 3:10. Now the 3-0, way inside, missed badly on all 4 pitches. So Grichuk is aboard with a 1-out walk in a scoreless second inning. And Lourdes Gurriel, the right-handed hitting left fielder, to the plate. He's had 2 of Toronto's 10 doubles in this weekend series. Sam Hentges from the set delivers, and it's waved at, strike 1. Sam Hentges is a guy much like Steven Matz. He uses his fastball almost twice as much as any other pitch. Now the set, the pitch, swing and a miss. Boy, he chased a wicked slider down in the dirt. And his slider is starting to become a thing of beauty. 0-2. Hentges throws his fastball 51% of the time, curveball 28%, and slider 21% of the time. He's thrown 1 changeup all season. So pretty much a 3-pitch mix. Now the 0-2, a little bit low with a fastball, 1-2. Stop in and see your Northern Ohio Buick and GMC dealers. Boy, do they have some great offers on most 2021 models. Pretty good lead at first for Grichuk. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Chased a breaking ball down and in. And Gurriel is strikeout victim number 2. Toronto leads the American League in home runs. They've now blasted 77. That's 19 more than the Indians. Blue Jays average 5 runs a game. 5th in the league. 3rd in the league in batting average. Plus they're 4th in steals. So you've got a team that's not only young, but they're athletic, and they hit for power, and they hit for average. They have got some kind of offense, and they're not even close to being where they will be when they get George Springer healthy. Here's the set and the pitch, down and in, a ball. Springer was their big-time free agent acquisition this past offseason, and he's played 4 games due to a quad and oblique injury. And when you talk to their people, they're still really not certain at any time that they may see Springer. There doesn't seem to be a timetable right now. The pitch, swung on, drilled to center. Espinal, who had 3 RBIs Friday night, singles to center. Grichuk stops at second. Springer's been traveling with the club, but he's not doing a whole lot. Shagging once in a while, but he's not running sprints or anything, so he's still not even close to being ready to go out on an injury rehab assignment. But think of that bat when they add George Springer to this ball club. Wow. 2 out, 2 on, Blue Jays Indians. Scoreless in game 2. Toronto won the opener 4-1. Here's the eighth hitter, Jonathan Davis, right-handed batting center fielder. And he looks at a ball down low, a curveball, out of the University of Central Arkansas. Not much of a hitter, batting a .161, but he can really run. Now the set, now the 1-0. Swung on, hit high in the air to center, but that wind blowing in will knock it down. Ramirez medium deep will put it away, and so Sam Hentges picking up where he left off against Detroit. No center fielder. Steven Matz's pitch is fouled back, 1-1. Don't forget to enjoy the great taste of Montgomery Inn ribs. They're the official barbecue of the Indians. Montgomery Inn products available at your local grocer and at MontgomeryInn.com. Montgomery Inn, the Ribs King. The lefty's pitch, ripped foul down the right side by Ramirez. And the count 1-2. Steven Matz has been inconsistent this year. He's had dominant games, and he's had games where he's really been battered. The left-hander into the wind. Here it comes. Swung on again. Shot foul to the right. We'll do it again at 1-2. Gave up 6 runs to Washington, 5 to Oakland, 5 to Boston. But then he has also had 5 games where he's given up 1 run or no runs. That pitch in the dirt, ball 2, strike 2. So Steven Matz, basically the definition of 2021, he's never mediocre. Really good or really bad. The 2-2, way inside. Did it get the foot? It did, of Ramirez. So he gets aboard with a hit by pitch to start the second. The Indians have the leadoff man aboard. Down on a knee is Ramirez as he's holding that left foot. Boy, that's all the Indians need. Ernie Clement is the Indians' 27th man. You get to add a guy for this second game of the doubleheader. If he plays, it would be his major league debut. He can play the outfield, but he's primarily an infielder. Boy, Ramirez really slow to get up. Indians, Blue Jays, 4-1. Blue Jays won game 1. No score in this ball game. Inning number 2 here in the second. Ramirez hit by the pitch to start the inning. We'll see if he can continue, and he will limp down to first base. To get your best deal on any new or used car, go to Sunnyside Chevrolet in Elyria. You can also check out their inventory and specials online at SunnysideChevy.com. Hitting fifth in left field, Eddie Rosario. Had his hit streak come to an end in the opener. Batting .233, 4 homers, 29 RBIs. Shares the team lead in RBIs, Franmil Reyes, who of course is out 6 to 8 weeks with the oblique. And the first pitch missing for ball 1. Guerrero holds Ramirez at first. The 1-0. Bullseye, 1-1 the count. Steven Matz was a second-round pick by the Mets way back in 2009. Blue Jays got him in late January for 3 youngsters. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Waved at a breaking ball, 1-2. So the Blue Jays have tried to augment this rebuild with some veteran pitching. Guys like Steven Matz and Hyunjin Ryu. Of course, we saw earlier today Ross Stripling. Now the pitch. Swung on a weak chopper into the shift. The second baseman semi into second 1. And no throw to first. Slow chopper. So Harold Ramirez forced at second. Eddie Rosario at first with 1 down. Owen Miller Well, he's having a tough time since coming up, batting 148 with an RBI. Well, that's to be expected. He didn't even play 3 weeks of AAA baseball. Couple that with the fact last year he didn't play at all. Part of that alternate squad in both San Diego and Cleveland. No minor league season. Lob over to first, and Rosario back. The Indians are still the second worst offensive team in the American League. The worst, Detroit. Indians scoring under 4 runs a game, batting .215 as a team. First pitch strike to Miller. Looking for somebody to spark this offense. No score, game 2. The Indians trying to avoid being swept. The 0-1. Miller swings and misses. 0-2. Steven Matz, his best year with the Mets was just kind of a mediocre year, really, when you look at it. The pitch up high, 1-2. 2019, Steven Matz was 11-10 with a 4.21 ERA. Spent 6 years with the Mets. He left New York, 10 games under 500. Had a hard time staying healthy. 7 times on the injured list. He delivers, and strike 3 called, looking at a sinking fastball. So Miller's out number 2, strikeout number 2, and here's Josh Naylor, batting .258, 5 homers, 14 RBIs. Left on left, Naylor was the only Indian that did anything in Game 1 offensively. He had 3 hits, including a homer. Batting .258 now, 5 homers, 14 RBIs. No score in the second. Rosario at first with 2 down. The set, the toss to first, and Rosario back again. And the injuries just keep piling up on ball clubs. Minnesota Twins, they had to put Max Kepler on the injured list. Got a hamstring injury. The pitch swung on, sounded like a broken bat flare into right center, but a running jump by Grichuk, and he got there. Again, you can't. Jay Catcher opens up the third. No score. Sam Hentges delivers. Jansen takes high, 1-1. Jansen grew up in the Appleton, Wisconsin area. About 3 minutes away from the ballpark there, they've got a Class A minor league team that pitched down low. It's the Brewers Class A club in Appleton. And Danny Jansen's parents volunteered to become a host family once. Here's the pitch. Swing and a ground ball headed to third. Fielded there by Owen Miller. Strong throw across for the out. Mom and Dad still live in the Fox Valley area in Appleton. Top of the order now, Marcus Semien. Popped up his first time out. Here's the pitch, and it's low a ball. His parents one year hosted a young center fielder. At that time, Appleton was not affiliated with the Brewers. They were with Seattle. That pitch is low, 2-0. Give it a name, Adam Jones. Ended up being the player they hosted. Of course, he'd eventually be traded to Baltimore, and man, how good was he?
Tremendous.
Now the windup and the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-1. That's what those folks in Mahoning Valley are going to miss this year in the Youngstown area, hosting kids out of the Indians farm system. That is no longer the case. The 2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2. And So many of those host families stay connected to those young kids who eventually, some of them make it to the big leagues. The pitch, way inside, full count.
With a kid like Adam Jones, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet in Major League Baseball when he was playing. What a treat that had to have been.
Full count now, third inning, no score. Semien popped up his first time, 4 for 9 this weekend. The pitch, and it almost hit him and went to the backstop for ball 4. So the second walk. Boy, when Hentges is missing today, he's missing sometimes by a foot. I think he's got good stuff, but still trying to harness it all. Here's Bo Bichette, flied out to left his first time up. You Tribe fans, Blaster of Cleveland is the makers of PB Blaster. Number 1 for freeing up rusted parts. Whatever the job, always use Blaster products. Work it like a pro. Second time now through the order. Let's see what adjustments the Blue Jays make after seeing Sam Hentges for the first time ever. No score, third inning. Boy, you'd like to get a lead early in this nightcap. The pitch, way inside a ball, because as we get deeper into this game, the shadows are going to be a huge factor. There's not a cloud in the sky, and those shadows are going to become an issue here in the next half to 3/4 of an hour. That pitch, a called strike, and they count 1 ball, 1 strike. No problems now, and that's why for the hitters, they better take advantage of this situation with no shadows. Now the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, grounded foul, third base side, 1-2. Scoreless ball game, third inning. Toronto won the opener 4-1. Detroit completed a sweep of New York. Tarek Skubal shut down the Yankees today 6-2, and the Yankees scoring woes continue. The lowly Tigers sweep New York. Good for the Tigers. Now the set and the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a foul at the plate. And when we say lowly, the Tigers are still in a massive rebuild. And that doesn't take 2 or 3 years. Tigers are starting to get some of those young kids experience. They've got more on the way. They're going to have another high pick in this July's draft. They'll have a high pick again next year. Now the set, now the 1-2. Swing and a foul back. Boy, Bichette is just swinging out of his shoes. Still a 1-2 count. So for the Tigers, what a boost that must have been this weekend for them to sweep the mighty Yankees. Some of these kids that the Tigers played this weekend have been watching some of these Yankee players for a number of years. Now the 1-2 pitch. Swung on a little dribbler toward third, foul. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Somebody better start figuring out a way to beat the White Sox, who lead Baltimore 3-1 in the 7th. Billy Hamilton's homered for the 2nd day in a row. The White Sox right now with a run differential of plus 80. Best in the American League. We'll see them tomorrow, a doubleheader. The pitch. Swung on, ripped to right. That's a base hit for Bichette. Semien hits second. He'll stop there. Gosh, I know tomorrow is Memorial Day, and you're not trying to get ahead of yourself. But this is a pretty important 3-game series for the Indians and the White Sox. You talk about somebody slowing them down. Well, if you want to be a playoff team, you've got to be that ball club.
You have an opportunity head-to-head. They'll have Bieber on Tuesday. But, the White Sox playing. Well, it doesn't seem to matter who they put in the outfield. After all these injuries they've had, Billy Hamilton starts hitting home runs, and you start to wonder.
The key for the White Sox is their pitching has stayed healthy. Here's Vlad Guerrero with 2 on, 1 out, no score in the 3rd. He grounded out sharply to short his first time. He checks on a breaking ball down low for ball 1. White Sox, hard to imagine them having a long losing streak if their pitching stays healthy. They've got a deep 5-man rotation. They've got a dominant bullpen. That's how you stay out of long losing streaks. Hentges trying to get out of this jam. Checks second. And he comes to the plate, and the pitch is high for ball 1. You look at the White Sox. They'll come in tomorrow. 4th in the league in runs scored, 4th in the league in hitting. But what's really the story for the White Sox is their pitching. The White Sox are leading the American League in earned run average. Here is the set. Here's the look back. Here's the pitch. Swing! And a miss. 2-1 the count. Oh, goodness gracious. He's fun to watch swing the bat, but you wonder how he doesn't pop every vertebrae. But the White Sox lead the American League in pitching. And that's a big-time story for them. The pitch, way inside, got away from Rivera, and everybody is going to move up a base. Wild pitch. Rivera sliding to his left, partially blocked it, but it squirted free of him. And the double play now is out. And the wild pitch puts runners at second and third. 1 down, no score here in the third. Well, just to finish the thought on the White Sox, their bullpen is among the elite in the game. Their rotation right now leads the American League in earned run average at 289. The pitch outside, ball 4. They walk Guerrero. And the White Sox are doing that. Dallas Keuchel hasn't even gotten locked in yet. But, boy, they're just top to bottom, Rosie. At least on paper, and even with their injuries, top to bottom, they're the most solid club in the American League.
You know what kind of clicked in for their rotation, too? That they needed someone like a Carlos Rodon.
Yeah.
Who maybe in the wintertime you weren't thinking about because of all the injuries that he's had, and now he's dominant. Dylan Cease has had a real good year, so you throw those guys in with some of the veteran arms, and it's pretty good.
You added Keuchel, you added Lance Lynn, and with those guys you mentioned, Kopech has been a revelation out of the bullpen. Yeah, the White Sox, and they're going to be good for a while. Carl Willis, the Indians pitching coach out there to try to settle down Sam Hentges, who's now in a big-time jam. Bases loaded on a couple of walks and a single here in the third. Toronto won the opener 4-1. No score in the nightcap, third inning. Teoscar Hernandez, the cleanup hitter in DH, struck out his first time up. Homered in game 1. Infield back, double play depth, and a curveball misses outside, ball 1. Well, and again, in these 7-inning games, one big inning, and it seems like the game is over. It just feels like the game flies by when it's a 7-inning affair. The pitch, up high, ball 2, 2-0. Well, now Sam Hentges has got to reel in his Jim Palmer. Jim Palmer, in his Hall of Fame career, never gave up a grand slam. And Jim Palmer always believed in, look, if you walk in a run, that's one thing. But if you cave in and throw a cookie over the plate to make sure you don't walk the guy and he hits a grand slam, that's a mortal sin. The pitch, swung on and missed, 2-1 the count. Jim Palmer always would talk about how, gosh, pitchers are like, I can't walk in a run. I just can't walk in a run. He goes, yeah, you don't want to. But you got to minimize the damage. You walk in a run, it's 1 run. You give in to the hitter, and it's a 4-run inning, and the game might be over. Now the 2-1 pitch. Down low, 3-1. He told me the story. One time he hit a batter with the bases loaded because Earl Weaver wanted him to challenge him, and he goes, okay, I'm not going to walk him, but I'm not pitching to him. He said, I'll give up the run, take my chances, got the next guy, inning over.
He and Earl had a good relationship,
They did.
They?
Yep.
Go out for dinner after games and stuff.
Hatfields and the McCoys. Well, you got a dangerous hitter on a 3-1 count. The pitch to Hernandez, and he drives one high in the air, deep right center. On the run is Naylor. It's at the wall. It's off the wall in right center. That'll score Semien, Bichette, and Guerrero coming home. It's a 3-run double to right center by Teoscar Hernandez. So the walks and pitching from behind have caught up to Sam Hentges here in the third inning. And this is, without question, one of the most impressive lineups we have seen in the American League this year. They're so aggressive. They seem to always square up the baseball. And it is an absolute minefield when you start walking Blue Jay hitters and pitching from behind. And Sam Hentges has just learned it the hard way. A 3-run double off the wall in right center, and the Jays up 3-0. And here's Randal Grichuk. The set and the pitch. A swing and a long drive to deep left field. This ball off the wall. It'll be the 12th double of the series. In to score Hernandez. Grichuk with a stand-up double. 12 doubles for the Blue Jays this weekend. And remember, all of these games have been 7 innings. DeMarlo Hale, the Indians' acting manager and bench coach, will make a Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen. 4-0 Toronto on a 3-run double by Teoscar Hernandez off the wall in right center. And then an RBI double high up. Giancarlo Mejia is going to come out of the Indians' bullpen. The hard-throwing right-hander, 6'5", 240, 24 years of age. The Blue Jays have struck for 4. Sam Hentges got the first out here in the third, and the next 5 get aboard on a walk, single, walk, 3-run double, RBI double. Grichuk at second, 1 down, 4-0 Jays, and Lourdes Gurriel, the batter, struck out his first time up. Mejia's third appearance, he's 1-0, hasn't given up a run in 3 1/3 innings, has struck out 6, no walks. He checks second, the pitch to Gurriel, and it's fouled at the plate, strike 1. I know it's only 2 innings, but doesn't 4-0 in the third feel like...
Ooh, like we're in the 7th?
Yeah. And we're not. It's just... But I guess it's that perception thing. Here is the 0-1 pitch to Gurriel. A strike in the outside corner, 0-2. What it does do, though, there's much more of a sense of urgency early in a ballgame. That's why you saw DeMarlo Hale go to the bullpen.
Well, yeah, you have to play it differently, and I think especially for an Indians team that's trying to earn a split here, they don't want to see it get too far out of hand.
Another doubleheader tomorrow. Blue Jays and Indians are making history back-to-back days. Today, the Blue Jays make history. They'll be the first team to ever play 5 straight games of less than 9 innings. And then the Indians will match it tomorrow, as both have played 2 doubleheaders here. Now the 0-2 pitch, down low, 1-2. And, of course, Friday night was supposed to be 9 innings, but game got banged in the 7th because of Hurricane Rosie.
Wait a minute.
You were angry Friday night.
Was it that bad?
It was. You were like, Lake Erie on the way home looked like the North Shores of Oahu, where they have all of the worldwide surfing. Here is the 1-2 pitch to Gurriel. Low and away, sliding stop by Rivera. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
They had a surfing tournament Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Down at Edgewater.
Anybody that had a boat in Rocky River at the Yacht Club, that boat is now property of Canada. Now the set in the 2-2 pitch. Gurriel grounds one to first. Off the glove of Chang. Recovers. Backhanded flip to the pitcher. Mejia covering for the out. Well, it's not exactly the way you diagram it, but it's an out. Gritchick goes to third. Now there are two down. Santiago Espinal, right-handed hitter at third. Single to center his first time up. 4-0 Jays, third inning. They've got a runner at third, two down. Blue Jays leave here to an off day tomorrow so they can get settled in their second home, Buffalo. After playing April and May, their home games in Dunedin, their spring training home. That pitch in there, a strike. They were saying, Rosie, because the weather now in Florida is hot. It's not the rainy season yet, so the Blue Jays got fortunate that way in April and May playing their games in Dunedin. Now the 0-1, check swing foul off to the right, 0-2. But that field was two different fields. Early in the game, and then after the sun had baked it, and it got later in the game, that was like an asphalt infield. And bad hops and whatnot. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. The two-strike pitch swung on, foul down the right side. It's a little bit like Tampa. Indoors at Tropicana Field, the air conditioning sucks all the moisture out of that dirt portion of the skin infield that late in the game. That thing is like concrete.
I don't think Blue Jays pitchers are too upset about leaving there.
No. Although Buffalo's a launching pad to right center, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Now the 0-2 pitch. Strike three called on the outside corner. And Mejia ends the uprising. Blue Jays 4, Indians nothing.
To investigate on WTAM 1100.
Yu Chang playing first, batting eighth. 4-0 Toronto. Steven Matz misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Liberty Ford Grand Slam giveaway inning. Scott Wise of Twinsburg is today's contestant. Now the 1-1 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? Sure looked like it. No appeal. 2 balls and a strike. If the Indians hit a grand slam here in the third, Scott Wise of Twinsburg wins the Ford Bronco Sport from Liberty Ford. Sign up at libertyford.com. 2-1 is swung on, drilled, base hit into right center field for Yu Chang, who came in batting 145. That's the Indians' first hit in this game. The Indians had 4 hits in the opener, 3 by Josh Naylor. So Yu Chang is just the third Indian to collect a base hit in this doubleheader. The Indians also were shut down on Friday night. 4 hits, 3 in the first inning. Here's catcher Rene Rivera batting .263 since coming up for the injured Roberto Perez. And he takes ball 1, a high sinker. Memorial Day, and we'll celebrate the real first holiday of the summer. It feels like summer officially starts tomorrow. 3:10 the first pitch for game 1 with the White Sox. Now the pitch, swing and a miss, 1-1. And again, 2 games for the price of 1. Now the set, now the 1-1 pitch to Rivera. Fouled it straight back. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I may be putting you on the spot, Tom. Did the Braves have the doubleheaders at County Stadium?
Yeah, they
Memorial
used.
Day?
I think everybody did.
Yeah.
If they had so many Sunday doubleheaders. Those were the days of Chief Nakahoma. Came out of the teepee every time the Braves hit a home run.
Oh, man.
Chief Nakahoma lost about 30 pounds every summer coming out of that teepee dancing. The pitch, strike 3 called on the outside corner. Of course, there would be no Chief Nakahoma today, but back then, smoke would come out of the top of the teepee in the center field bleachers. And those are the days of Hank Aaron and Eddie Matthews and Joe Torre and Joe Adcock and Rico Cardi. And, I mean, they turned that into their own launching pad.
And they drew like crazy, didn't they?
They sure did. Here's the top of the order, Cesar Hernandez. Swings and bangs it foul outside of third. The Milwaukee Braves were the first team to ever draw 2 million fans. Think of that. Think of all those great Yankee teams And it was the Milwaukee Braves that were the first team to ever draw $2 million. That's hard to believe, isn't it?
That's amazing.
Well, when you even see video, here's the 0-1 swing and a miss, 0-2. When Roger Maris hit the 61st home run, there wasn't hardly anybody there in the seats and right.
And that was a good ball club.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was just one guy who's having a good year.
Now the 0-2 pitch. Target inside corner, and Hernandez takes down and in 1-2. But, boy, the Yankees, for whatever reason, didn't draw like you would think that they should have drawn. They sure do now. But that was a different time. Now the 1-2 delivery. Inside and a bit high, 2-2. Well, he's throwing that sinker at 95 miles per hour. 4-0. Blue Jays looking for the sweep of the weekend series. Won the opener today, 4-1. Bombed the Indians Friday night, 11-2. Now the 2-2. Swung on, grounded sharply to first. Picked by Guerrero, steps on the bag for one, throws to second. Double play on a tag by Bichette. What a play by Guerrero.
And you're listening to the Cleveland Clinic Indians Radio Network.
Crib.
I'm living in a world I don't understand.
Tomorrow afternoon starting at 3.
I have no idea.
On WTAM 1100.
Jonathan Davis leads things off, fourth inning underway, and he takes a strike on the inside corner from J.C. Mejia. It is 4-0 Toronto in the back end of a doubleheader. Mejia delivers, and his pitch is up high for a ball. All 4 runs coming last inning off of Sam Hentges, who goes 2 1/3, allowed the 4 runs on 4 hits, walked 3, struck out 2. Next pitch on the inside corner for a strike, and it's 1-2 on Davis, who flied to center his first time up. Final game of the series between the Tribe and the Blue Jays. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball low and outside, 2-2. While the Indians are playing 2 tomorrow against the White Sox, the Jays have an off day tomorrow, and they'll play at their new home in Buffalo Tuesday night. The 2-2. Down low, 3-2. They'll host the Marlins at Salem Field, where we're told about 6,000 or so will be the capacity, maybe a little bit more than that. And they're hoping for more as they go along as New York State opens up. And we'll see if they play in Toronto this year. It seems unlikely. Although everyone's keeping an eye on what's going on with the NHL playoffs. There's a Canadian division where they have all stayed within the division and in the country, but now as the playoffs get deeper, whoever comes out of that division would play a team in the States. And if they're allowed to play home games, then here's the 3-2. Swung on. There's a chopper to the second baseman, charging Hernandez. Scoops and fires in time for the out. 1 down here in the 4th. But then certainly the Blue Jays might say, well, wait a minute. If you're allowing visiting NHL teams to come in, why not baseball at the Rogers Center for the Blue Jays? So we'll see what happens. The Maple Leafs and Canadiens played last night in Montreal, and they finally allowed fans, about 2,500 or so, at the Montreal Forum. Well, that's the old place, but the Bell Center where the Canadiens play now. Danny Jansen, the batter, takes a pitch outside for ball 1. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Down low, 2-0. There will be a Game 7 in that series in Toronto on Monday night. And to think that no fans can go, ugh. Here's the 2-0. Inside, 3-0. That's about as big as it gets in that country. A Game 7 between the Maple Leafs and the Canadiens in a playoff series. Now the 3-0 pitch to Jansen. Fastball in there for a strike. This is the Chick-fil-A double play inning. If the Tribe turns 2 here in the 4th, use the Chick-fil-A app to get your free breakfast variety entree from any participating Cleveland, Akron, Canton, or Sandusky Chick-fil-A location. Next pitch, low and outside. Ball 4, Jansen draws the walk. So a 1-out walk for Danny Jansen, and it's back to the top of the lineup for Marcus Semien, who has walked and popped to second. Well, the Indians would like to thank Valley Ford Truck. They supply the security vehicle fleet during all home games. Keep on trucking with the Valley Truck Network. Here's Semien, right-handed batter, facing J.C. Mejia. Good live arm. Here's his pitch, and it's swung on. Ground ball to the second baseman. Hernandez to the bag for one. Rosario to first. Double play. Breakfast tomorrow from
WTAM 1100.
Underway, bottom half of the fourth inning. Ahmed Rosario looks at a pitch outside. Steven Matz, the lefty, delivers the 1-0, and that is outside as well. 2-0 the count on Rosario. Tribe trailing 4-0. A 4-run third has put the Blue Jays in front. Matz has been solid. He's allowed just one hit. Here's the next pitch, and that's lined foul off to the right side into the club seats. First base side. So it's 2-1 on Rosario, who struck out his first time up. Right-handed hitter. Matz delivers. There's a swing and a ground ball to short. Corralled by Bichette. Fires high to first, but a good stretch by Guerrero in time for the out. One away. Let's pause 10 seconds. Station ID on the Cleveland Clinic Indians Radio Network.
News updates at the top and bottom of the hour. When you need to know on Twitter. And breaking news when it happens. This is News Radio WTAM 1100. Cleveland.
Jim Rosenhaus along with Tom Hamilton back with you at Progressive Field, downtown Cleveland. Doubleheader day. Brian Motze back at Command Center with the comfy chair and a lot of snacks as Jose Ramirez takes a pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Tribe dropped the opener 4-1 to the Blue Jays, and they're trailing in the nightcap 4-0 as Ramirez chops one to third. The long hop hauled in by Espinal, and he fires to first in time for the out. 2 up, 2 down for the Indians here in the fourth. Harold Ramirez will step in. He was hit by a pitch his first time up. Right-handed hitter. The MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to Progressive Field. That's where you can buy and manage your game tickets, redeem offers, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. Here's the pitch from Matz, and it's low and in for ball one. Steven Matz, off-season acquisition by the Blue Jays. Here's the 1-0, swung on, looped foul over the Blue Jay dugout on the first base side. And that was one of those deals where change of scenery, probably good for Matz, as he had a tough year last year. The ERA almost 10 in 9 appearances with the Mets. The 1-1, low and in, 2-1. He was pitching near his hometown. He was born in Stony Brook, New York, and grew up not far from the city. Here comes his 2-1 pitch. Swung on, ground ball to second. Up with it, the second baseman, Semien, throws on to first in time for the out. Any of your screenings and vaccines is important, so don't delay. Schedule an appointment with your primary care team today. Visit clevelandclinic.org/access. Indians turn to the bullpen once again. Nick Whitgren comes on to pitch in the fifth, with the Blue Jays leading by a score of 4-0. Another good outing by J.C. Mejia, as he worked an inning and 2/3 and did not allow a base hit. Walked one, struck out one. He's been impressive in his 3 relief appearances. As Whitgren goes to work, and Bo Bichette fouls one off into the Indians' dugout for strike one. Bichette is 1 for 2. Singled and was part of that 4-run rally his last time up in the 3rd inning. The big blow, the 3-run double off the bat of Teoscar Hernandez. The 0-1. Down low, 1-1. Randall Grichuk followed with an RBI double, and that's been plenty for the Blue Jays. As much as we've talked about their offense this weekend, their pitching has been excellent. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, broken bat pop-up. First base side, Chang back, makes the catch in foul territory. Nice catch by Chang. 1 down. Vlad Guerrero will step in. Say, if you have questions about retirement, let the Financial team at W.A. Smith Financial Group help you build a comprehensive plan so that you can enjoy retirement confidently. Check them out at wasmithfinancial.com to learn more. Now here's Guerrero. Grounded to short and walked in 2 trips. Here's the pitch from Whitgren. Swing and a miss, strike 1. I'm going to guess the home run derby here back in 2019 was sold out. I'm going to guess a quarter of the people in that crowd figured that this guy won the home run derby. He did not. Here's the 0-1. Swung on, ground ball to short. Backhand stop by Rosario. Fires to first. In time for the out. 2 down in the inning. Guerrero hit 91 home runs in the competition, but the way the brackets were set up in the finals, he lost to Pete Alonso of the Mets and did not win the home run derby, despite it seemed like he was the star, wasn't it? How that went? So I bet there's a lot of people who thought he won the thing. And he hit the most. But Alonso won the championship round. 91 home runs in about an hour and a half for Guerrero. Here's Teoscar Hernandez, and the pitch is down low for ball 1. That was a fun night. What a week. All-Star week in 2019 here in Cleveland. Great game. Fun home run derby. All the other events. Perfect weather. Here's Whitgren's 1-0. Fastball in there for a strike. 1-1 the count. Once again, Hernandez with the big hit in this game. The bases clearing double in the 3rd. That put the Jays up 3-0, and they now lead at 4-0 here in the 5th of a 7-inning contest. Whitgren delivers. Strike called. Good fastball on the inside corner. Whitgren appearing in his 17th game, the veteran reliever. 2-1 with an ERA of 5.28. Third pitcher here in Game 2 for the Tribe after Sam Hinch has started. Allowed the 4 runs. Then Mejia, now Whitgren. The 1-2. Swung on, ripped foul outside of third. Past Louis Rivera. Always good to see Louis Rivera, longtime coach in the Indian system before becoming a fixture now with the Blue Jays. Part of Charlie Montoyo's staff. Mark Budzinski on the coaching lines at third. Another longtime Indians minor league player and also coach and manager. Now the 1-2. Just missed down low. Change up that time from Whitgren. 4 runs on 4 hits for the Blue Jays. No runs, 1 hit for the Tribe. Both teams playing airless baseball on this sunny late afternoon in downtown Cleveland. Here's the 2-2. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. Hernandez caught
by the Ohio Laborers Union. Cleveland's news, talk, and sports on WTAM 1100 and 106.9 FM.
First pitch swinging Eddie Rosario on the bottom of the 5th. Hits a 1-hopper to Vlad Guerrero, and in a race to the bag, Guerrero tagged the bag before the sliding Rosario did, and there's 1 out in the inning. Well, with the loss of weight and a real dedication to good hard work, there are a lot of people around the Blue Jays, including their manager, Charlie Montoyo, the other day in his Zoom call with the Toronto media. He must have said, and he was prompted by the questions, but several times that he feels that Guerrero can be a Gold Glover at a certain point in time. And boy, he's shown a good glove here this weekend. That was a nice play right there. 1 down in the inning. Owen Miller, the batter, takes a pitch down low. Ball 1. Matt's right back with the 1-0. That's in there for a strike. And the count moves to 2-0 on Miller. Or excuse me, 1-1 on Miller. Miller struck out looking first time. Matz with the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2 the count. Shadows from the light standards just now starting to pull over right in front of home plate, which is in sunshine at home plate, but just ahead of that, some shadows, and then the mound is in bright sunshine. Here's the 1-2. Swung on, foul tipped, hung on to by Jansen. That's strike 3, and Miller is down on strikes. For Matz, that is his fourth strikeout. 2 up, 2 down. Josh Naylor, the batter now. Naylor, line to right, his first time up. From the Toronto suburbs. And opportunity in the first game, the first Cleveland Indian born in Canada to hit a home run against the Blue Jays. PR staff doing some digging on that one. That was a good one. Here comes the pitch to Naylor with 2 down. Base is empty, and it's down low for a ball. It's 4-0 Blue Jays. They won the first game over the Tribe, 4-1. So it gets late early in these 7-inning games, and the Indians up against it, and they are facing a pitcher who has a good one going in Steven Matz, and they'll let him go. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-1 the count. Blue Jays used 2 relievers in the first game, and boy, they have an off day tomorrow. They'd love to get through this one without much trouble. Kind of reset things going into their homestand starting Tuesday night. Indians have more action going in their pen. The 1-1. Naylor fouls it off at home plate. 1-2 the count. It's like Trevor Stephan heating it up out in the Tribe bullpen. 2 outs, base is empty, bottom of the 5th. Naylor digging in from that left side. Matz, the lefty, with a 1-2 pitch. Swung on, line drive to left, right there. Gurriel makes the catch. Side retired in order. 6th inning coming up, sponsored by Great Lakes Brewing Company.
4 to work for the Indians as we go to the 6th inning. And Toronto looking to sweep this 3-game series. They won the opener today 4-1. And again, these are 7-inning games. And so basically, we're in the 8th inning. As it's inning number 6, and it's 4-0 Blue Jays on a 4-run 3rd inning. Trevor Stephan on to work for the Indians. His 13th appearance, no decisions, a .476 ERA. Averages more than a strikeout an inning. Fastball slider. Randall Grichuk is the hitter. And the pitch is swung on, skied to left, but it is going to hook foul and out of play, strike 1. One swing of the bat really changed the complexion of this game. Sam Hentges got in trouble in the 3rd inning with a couple of walks pitching from behind. And then Teoscar Hernandez blasted a 3-run double off the wall in right center. Randall Grichuk followed with an RBI double off the wall in left. And that's your ball game. 4-0 Jays. The pitch fouled upstairs 0-2. Meanwhile, Steven Matz has thrown a 1-hit shutout through 5 innings. And that 1 hit was Yu Chang single in the 3rd. That's your Ford game summary. Ford, America's best-selling brand. Trevor Stephan delivering. Randall Grichuk taking inside. He almost got hit, went to the backstop. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sam Hentges started for the Indians. He gave up 4 runs on 4 hits in 2 1/3. He walked 3. 2 of those came around to score. Giancarlo Mejia, impressive again, as he went an inning and 2/3 of scoreless relief. And Nick Whitgren cruised through a 1-2-3 5th inning. Now Trevor Stephan. Now the set. Now the 1-2. Fouled straight back by Grichuk. This is one of those guys, he kind of, I don't want to say gets lost, but with all the young stars the Blue Jays have, Randall Grichuk, kind of one of those glue guys that maybe gets overlooked at times. The 1-2, swing and a miss, struck him out. I mean, Grichuk is a guy that for 4 years averaged 26 homers a season and has just really helped fill out this Blue Jay lineup. You hear so much about Guerrero and Bichette and Hernandez and Gurriel and Biggio. But Randall Grichuk, boy, he's a guy every team would love to have. Here's Lourdes Gurriel, 0 for 2. Looks at a called strike. Doubleheader again tomorrow. Indians, White Sox. 2 7-inning affairs, 2 for the price of 1. Game 1, 3:10, 40-minute break between the two games. Nice way to cap off your holiday weekend. Now the 0-1, strike 2. Tickets are available at Indians.com/tickets or use your ballpark app. And today we have our biggest crowd of the season. Tickets sold 11,690. Will be full capacity starting Wednesday. Slider down and away 1 and 2. Now that doesn't mean we're sold out. It's just that from Wednesday on, full capacity is allowed here at Progressive Field, roughly 35,000. Now the 1-2. Swing and a foul off the screen in front of the Indians' third base dugout. We'll do it again at 1 and 2. You won't have to wear a mask come Wednesday, so why not enjoy the start of June at the ballpark? Wednesday's game is at 1:10 against the White Sox. Here's the set by Stephan. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled back again, and the count stays 1 and 2. And Wednesday we're going to have a high of 71. So hope to see you here as Lourdes Gurriel awaits the 1-2 pitch. Here it comes. Swung on a high bouncer to first. Chin high hop handled by Chang. He'll make the play unassisted. 2 down for Santiago Espinal. 1 for 2 with a single. Detroit completed a weekend sweep of the Yankees, winning today 6-2. White Sox, they keep rolling. 3-1 winners over Baltimore. If the Indians do not rally, the Indians will be 4.5 games out of first heading into tomorrow's twin bill. White Sox have now won 4 in a row. The pitch in there called strike. Kansas City leads Minnesota 6-3 in the 9th inning. Angels with a 4-2 lead in the 3rd at Oakland. Jared Walsh, 12th homer for Anaheim. Now the 0-1 down low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Seattle on top of Texas 3-0 in the 4th. Tampa Bay, they took care of a weekend sweep of Philadelphia, winning 6-2 today. Mike Zunino's 12th homer. The pitch swung on, fouled into the seats behind the plate, and the count of 1 and 2. Tampa Bay now 34-20, best record in the American League. And boy, the Tampa Bay Rays are on some kind of a roll. They won 15 out of their last 16 games. Goodness. Espinal awaits the 1-2, and here it comes. Up high, ball 2, strike 2. Boston and Miami were rained out. In Houston, the Astros double up San Diego 7-3. Stephan's 2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck out Espinal, and the inning is over. Middle of the 6th, 4-0. Tribe trailing the Blue Jays. Yu Chang leads off and takes a strike from Steven Matz. Bottom of the 6th, Tribe down 4-0. Chang, the only base hit for the Indians. A single to right center in the 3rd. The lefties pitch, and it's outside a ball, 2-1 the count. 6th inning brought to you by Great Lakes Brewing Company. Keep the rally going all season long with the new Rally Drum Premium Lager from Great Lakes Brewing Company, official craft beer of the Indians. Strike on the outer edge. 2-2 on Chang. Steven Matz has hit a batter and given up a single. That's it. No Indian has gotten to second base. The pitch. And Chang fouling it upstairs. still a 2-2 count. The Indians did not have an at-bat with a runner in scoring position in Game 1, nor have they in Game 2. In fact, the Indians have not had an at-bat. As Chang rolls one to third, Espinal bobbles, recovers, throws, not in time. That'll be an error. The last time the Indians had a runner get to second base in scoring position was the first inning Friday night. I mean, that tells you how much the Indians are scuffling right now offensively and how good Toronto's pitching's been. Here's catcher Rene Rivera, struck out his only time up. Tribe down 4-0, but it's the 6th inning of a doubleheader, meaning one more inning to go. Wind is still significant, blowing in from right. Shadows from the light standards across home plate. As the pitch is swung on, blasted high, deep to right center. This ball hits near the track. It'll go to the wall. Davis runs it down. Chang hits third. He's being waved home. He'll score without a throw. And an RBI double for Rene Rivera, who dropped one in right center between Davis and Grichuk, who were fighting that win. And give Rene Rivera his first extra base hit as an Indian and his second RBI as an Indian. And now the Indians down 4-1, have a runner at second base, and their first at bat with a runner in scoring position since Friday night in inning number 1. Top of the order, Cesar Hernandez, switch hitter batting right-handed, has popped up and hit into a double play. 4-1, Tribe trailing it. Steven Matz's pitch, and it's at the knees, a strike. The shadows from the light standards above the third base roof are across home plate right now, and also one out on the grass in front of the mound. The pitch swung on, banged in the left, that's a base hit. Rivera will be stopped at third, and the Indians have something going. Hernandez with a single to left, and the Blue Jay bullpen is getting busy in a hurry. Indians down 4-1, runners at the corners, nobody out. And Pete Walker, an outstanding pitching coach, heading to the mound as the Jays bullpen has the right-hander up. That looks to be Tyler Chatwood. So the Indians finally coming to life offensively. Josh Naylor's home run in Game 1, the Indians' only run in a 4-1 defeat. And here in the 6th inning, Rene Rivera with an RBI double, scoring an unearned run. Cesar Hernandez followed with a single. So the Indians have the tying run at the plate in Ahmed Rosario. He has struck out, grounded out. Steven Matz pitching a beauty. Leads 4-1 here in the 6th inning. Nobody out, runners at the corners, infield back. The pitch swung on line, back up the middle. Knocked down and off the glove of the pitcher. Caroms to short. Bichette's thrown out in time. Base hit. Rivera scores. It's a 4-2 ball game. Beebe back up the middle. That glanced off the glove of Matz. He got a glove on it to try to knock it down. It ricocheted out towards short. Bichette made a nice play on the ricochet, and Bichette made it close at first, but Ahmed Rosario has his 12th RBI on the single. And now the Indians have runners at first and second with nobody out, and here comes the manager, Charlie Montoyo. Montoyo is going to make a pitching change. This call to the bullpen brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. The Indians have gotten back into this game with 3 straight. Well, this is a guy, a hard thrower named Tyler Chatwood, who primarily throws 3 different fastballs. He's got a curve and change, but he hardly ever throws them. Instead, Tyler Chatwood will throw mid-90s sinkers and 4-seamers and also a cutter. And he comes on to pitch now with the Indians back in the game. 4-2, Blue Jays lead it, looking for a sweep of the doubleheader and a weekend series sweep. But the Indians have scored 2 here in the 6th, and they've got Cesar Hernandez at second and Ahmed Rosario at first. Nobody out, and now the heart of the order. Jose Ramirez will bat left-handed for the first time in this game, has flied out, grounded out. Quiet weekend for Ramirez, 1-for-7. So Tyler Chatwood makes his 19th appearance. He's 0-1, 10 holds already. That's astounding. ERA for Chatwood of 2.37, 24 strikeouts in 19 innings. The right-hander's ready. The pitch. And it's a little low, ball 1. Blue Jays put 3 on the right side of the infield. Espinal, the third baseman, 30 feet off the line at the cut of the grass. Tribe down 4-2. Runners first and second. Nobody out in the 6th. The pitch, and it's just off the outside corner. 2 balls, no strikes. Chatwood was a starter early in his career with the Angels, as well as with Colorado and the Cubs, but boy, he's found a niche in the pen. The pitch, a swing and a shot, base hit center field. Hernandez is being waved home. He better hurry. Throw to the plate, up the third base line. Scoring is Hernandez. Rosario scampers to third. Jose Ramirez with the Indians' 4th consecutive hit. An RBI single to center, and it's a 1-run game. The Indians now trailing it by a score of 4-3. And an offense that had been dormant all day long, losing 4-1 in the opener, being shut out on 1 hit in the nightcap. Suddenly, an error to start the inning and 4 straight hits. We haven't seen many of these innings for the Indians this year where they string together a bunch of hits. Harold Ramirez, the batter, infield back. He drives one on the ground on 1 hop to second. Semien to second one. Relay to first. Double play. Game tied as Rosario scores on a hard smash up the middle on 1 hop that the Blue Jays turn into 2. Harold Ramirez, much like the Blue Jay hitters, everything he hits, even his outs, is hard hit. But he does not get credit for an RBI. It's a 4-6-3 double play, so the bases are empty. But the Indians down 4 have tied it with 4 in the 6th. And here's Eddie Rosario, 0-for-2. The set and pitch, high for ball 1. And isn't it something how for the Indians all season long, the 6th inning has been easily their most dominant inning, day in and day out, and it's continued here today. The pitch, way outside, he missed, and the count 2-0. In the 6th inning this year, the Indians have now scored 41 runs and allowed 9. Amazing. Here's the set. Here's the pitch. And it's low, ball 3. So that'll close the book on Steven Matz. He gives up all of the runs, but a key error to start the inning by third baseman Espinal. Eddie Rosario, 2 ground outs, shift to the right. The pitch, ball 4, he missed outside. Chatwood has walked Eddie Rosario, and here comes Owen Miller. Or is it? Miller's been called back to the dugout. Miller, 0-for-8 this weekend, has struck out twice in this game, and Jake Bowers is coming out of the Indians' dugout to hit. May see the Major League debut of Ernie Clement in the top of this inning defensively. Miller had been playing third. Pitching coach Pete Walker is heading to the mound. Nobody is throwing yet in the Blue Jay pen. And the Blue Jays only have one left-hander, Tim Meza, but he's not throwing. So Bowers is going to face a right-handed pitcher. And so Jake Bowers, who played in game 1 and was 0 for 3, he is still looking to get hot, but it seems like we've been saying that about a lot of the Indians. Bowers hitting 196, 2 homers, 6 RBIs. The Indians' first baseman, Chang and Bowers, have combined for 2 homers and 12 RBIs. Bowers, though, can make people forget that with one swing of the bat here. The pitch to him, and Jake Bowers takes ball 1, low and away. Go-ahead run at first, Eddie Rosario. Tribe with 4 in the 6th. Have tied the game at 4. The set by Chatwood. The pitch. Runner goes. Pitch is high and wide. Jansen throw to second. Feet first slide. Safe. Eddie Rosario, 6 steals. He's been caught once. He got a pretty good jump. And now a base hit would put the Indians on top. Game deadlocked 4-4. Now the set, now the pitch. Swung on, line to right field. Coming on, Grichuk makes the head-high catch. But the Indians explode to Emmanuel Clase. What a job the Indians bullpen has done today, as we suddenly have a 4-4 game. Sam Hentges gave up 4 runs in 2 1/3. Toronto scored all 4 of its runs in that third, knocking Hentges out. But J.C. Mejia, Nick Whitgren, and Trevor Stephan combined for 3 2/3 shutout and hitless innings. Stephan worked the 6th with a couple of strikeouts. Here's Jonathan Davis, the number 8 hitter in center field. Emmanuel Clase with a high hold and pitch, and it's in there, a strike. 100 miles an hour plus with his cutter. Clase making appearance number 24, 2 wins, 2 losses, 8 saves, ERA .83. Righty-righty matchup. Davis is flied out, grounded out. The pitch to him, and it's outside, 1-1. Jake Bauer stays in the game to play first, and Yu Chang will move across the diamond to third. Four runs, 4 hits for the Jays. 4 runs, 5 hits for the Indians. The pitch. Check swing. Pitch was maybe high. Legacy Roofing is Ohio's premier roofing service provider. Whether you need a repair or new roof, call 855-GOT-ROOF. Get a free estimate, or you can go online, legacyroofingoh.com. Now the pitch. Downstairs, missed with a cutter, 3-1 the count. Clase lately has had command issues and now has walked 11 in 21 innings. This is the final inning unless we have extra innings. 7th inning, game tied 4-4. Now the set, now the pitch. And he walked him, missed outside. So Davis, who's the base stealing threat, he'll head to first. He has 3 steals. He's been caught once. Clase is a guy you can run on. Rene Rivera has caught 1 base runner in 2 tries. Number 9 hitter, catcher Danny Jansen, ground out and a walk. He shows bunt, and he bunts it back toward the mound. Clase's got to play at second, but he'll go to first instead. He made sure of it. As quickly as Davis runs, Clase would have had a tight play at second, made the right choice, get that sure out at first so the inning doesn't spiral out of control. but a good bunt by Danny Jansen. And the sac bunt puts the go-ahead run at second. One down, top of the order, and Marcus Semien. Blue Jays' 5th sac bunt of the year. The Indians have 9. Semien 0 for 2 with a walk. Righty-righty matchup. The pitch. Swung on, ripped into center. That's a base hit. Blue Jays back on top, 5-4. Davis scores from second on Semien's 32nd RBI and 5th hit in this series. So the leadoff walk, as so often is the case, hauntingly comes back as a run. And Davis and the Blue Jays, good situational baseball. Leadoff walk, sac bunt, RBI single, 5-4 Toronto. 7th inning. Here's Bo Bichette, 1 for 3 with a single. Class A, the pitch, and it's in there, a strike. Shadows from the light standards above the third base roof are now cutting across the pitcher's mound. The hitter is back in sunshine. Game might be over before the real bad shadows get here. The 0-1 swung on, ripped to right, but sliced foul. And the count 0-2. Bo Bichette may even swing harder than Vlad Guerrero.
I think he does.
It's incredible.
Even with 2 strikes, which was surprising.
Yeah.
Because I think the Blue Jays' approaches with, well, they never really get to 2 strikes because they're swinging so early in counts, but they just have a real solid approach at the plate using the whole field.
The pitch swung on a high chopper to first, fielded by Bowers to second for 1. Rosario's relay, he got him! A 3-6-3 double play. But the Blue Jays are back. Josh Naylor to face Tyler Chatwood. Chatwood's pitch, and it's low, a ball. Chatwood replaced Steven Matz in the 6th. Matz gets a no decision. Boy, he pitched well until that 6th inning. Went 5 innings today, gave up 4 runs, 2 of them earned. He only allowed 3 base hits. Struck out 4. The pitch, Naylor floats one into left toward the line. Gurriel is there. 1 down. Here's Yu Chang, 1 for 2 with a single. Chang started at first, now at third. Blue Jays on top of the Indians by a score of 5-4 as they look for the 3-game sweep. The pitch, down and away, ball 1. This is a score 4, win 4 new tires. Brought to you by Conrad's, but the Indians have to score 4 or more in the 7th inning for Karen Wright of Cleveland to get 4 new tires. Down and away, the next pitch, 2-0. You can enter for a chance to win your set of 4 tires from Conrad's. Visit econrads.com. Good luck to Karen Wright of Cleveland. Now, Karen, the only way you're going to get those 4 tires, the pitch, swing and a miss, 2-1. The Indians would have to hit a walk-off grand slam.
That'd be fun.
We'll take it.
If that happens, she should get a couple of sets of tires.
I'll let you talk to the Conrad's finance department. I've got their number here. 2-1 pitch. Just a bit outside, 3-1.
I mean, that's pretty special. Walk-off slam. For just 1 set of tires? Hey.
Oh, we never get the grand slam in the 3rd inning. Here's the 3-1. Inside, he walked him. Yu Chang is aboard. Well, this has not been a lights-out bullpen in the month of May. They got overworked a little bit. Still a pretty good bullpen, but think how good they'd be with Kirby Yates and Dave Phelps. Bradley Zimmer's going to pinch hit for Rene Rivera. I mean, you start a year and your closer gets lost in spring training. That's tough to recover from.
Yeah, So then you spend some time searching for it, and certainly Phelps is a loss, but they've kind of been spreading it around, and this guy's getting a shot today, Chatwood. But, yeah, especially if you want to contend in the AL East, you need that lights-out closer heading into a season that you know you can count on.
How good is the AL East right now with Boston? Nobody saw that coming. Well, you knew Tampa was good. Toronto's really good, too. New York, hard to figure them out. Here's the set. Here's the pitch. Downstairs, ball one.
And the Rays kind of proving that World Series was no fluke.
Yeah.
And they've had some key losses in the offseason, as they always do, but somehow they figure it out.
Drive down a run. 5-4. Tying run at first. Winning run at the plate in Bradley Zimmer. Here's the set. The pitch. Inside, a ball. Bradley Zimmer, after a tremendous rookie year that ended in September of 2017 when he broke his hand with a headfirst slide into first, still trying to recapture what he had going there in 2017. He's just dealt with so many injuries since. He checks and takes outside, 3-0. Bradley Zimmer, and this goes back to last year, does not have a base hit in his last 17 at-bats. See if he's swinging here, 3-0. Drive down 5-4. Last shot for the Indians, 7th inning. 1 out, 1 on. The pitch. Ball 4, it's high. How about that? So, Emmanuel Clase paid the ultimate price with a leadoff walk in the top of this inning. That led to the Blue Jays taking the lead. Now Tyler Chatwood with back-to-back walks, bringing out pitching coach Pete Walker. So Chatwood has now walked 3 since coming on. He walked a batter last inning, got away with it, and he's walked back-to-back Indians here in the 7th. So Chang's at second. That's the tying run. Zimmer's at first. That's the winning run. And what you've also done, turned it over to the top of the order in Cesar Hernandez. Switch hitter batting left-handed. 1 for 3 with a single. The Indians have 3 walk-off wins. 1 courtesy of Cesar Hernandez. Walk-off 2-run homer against Minnesota on May 22nd. The pitch. And it's low and outside, ball 1. And suddenly Chatwood is missing by a lot. The Blue Jays, the pitch. Outside, he went off speed and missed 2-0. The Blue Jays only have 10 saves. It tells you some of their bullpen issues. The Indians have 16. The Indians have 2 blown saves. Jays 6. The pitch, ball 3. It's low. And the Blue Jays are trying to get somebody ready in a hurry. But that somebody's not going to have enough time. Castro heating it up. 3-0 pitch to Hernandez. There's a strike, 3-1. He was taking all the way. Chang at second. Zimmer at first. 1 down in the 7th. Doubleheader, so this is in essence the bottom of the 9th. 5-4 Toronto. Here's the 3-1. Ball 4 down and in. They're loaded up. How about this? 3 straight walks by Tyler Chatwood. And the bases are loaded. And now a single could win this game. Ahmed Rosario, the batter, 1 for 3, an RBI single in the Indians' 4-run 6th. Chang at third, Zimmer at second, Hernandez at first. We could give away the tires to Karen Wright with a walk-off grand slam by Ahmed Rosario. Here's the pitch. Just a bit outside, ball one. Chatwood has made 28 pitches. 6 are strikes. The set, the pitch. Ball in the dirt, a backhanded pick by Jansen. Tyler Chatwood looks like he's not going to throw another strike. Wow, he is just imploding. Bases loaded. Drive down a run, 1 down in the 7th. Infield back, double play depth. Now the 2-0 pitch. Ball 3, it's low. Well, everybody in the park knows Rosario is taking here. I mean, this is astounding. The set, the pitch. Bullseye, 3-1 the count. Is Rosario taking 3-1? Here it comes. Ball 4, it's low. Tie game. Chatwood's walked 4 in a row. We'll have a pitching change. We've got a new ball game. The Indians down 4-0 in the 6th. Tied it. Blue Jays reclaimed the lead. We're trying to win it here in the bottom of the 7th. The Indians have tied it, and the bases are still loaded, and still only 1 out. The Indians have tied it on 4 straight walks by Tyler Chatwood. Bases loaded for the Indians. Blue Jays play the infield in. The outfield is shallow. Jose Ramirez batting left-handed. 5-5 game, the pitch, and he went backdoor with a slider and got a strike. Ramirez had an RBI single last inning, 1 for 3. Blue Jays have 3 infielders at the cut of the grass on the first base side of the infield. In close, a normal third is Espinal. Now the pitch. Ramirez, a swing and a foul into the Blue Jay dugout. He swung at a pitch that was almost at his shoe top. 0-2 the count. Josh Naylor flied out to start the inning, and then Tyler Chatwood fell apart and walked 4 in a row to walk in the tying run. Now the set, now the pitch. Ramirez bangs it foul by first base coach Sandy Alomar Jr. Yu Chang started the inning after the flyout with a walk. Pinch hitter Bradley Zimmer walked. Cesar Hernandez walked. Ahmed Rosario walked with the bases loaded to force in the tying run. Infield in, outfield shallow. Bases loaded, 1 down. Tribe tied with the Jays at 5. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled it off to the right. Jose Ramirez, boy, he is getting a steady diet of breaking balls and off-speed pitches. And a lot of them not strikes. He keeps fighting them off. Anthony Castro, his 9th appearance, no wins, a loss, ERA of 2. Throws mid-90s, the pitch. High with the heat, 1-2. That was basically a show-me fastball. He'll probably go right back to the slider. Fastball, slider, changeup. But Castro predominantly throws the slider. He throws that slider 59% of the time. Now the pitch. Slider swung on, line to right field. Back goes Grichuk, makes the catch. Tagging is Zimmer. Throw to the plate, slides in safely. Ball game for the Indians on a walk-off sacrifice fly to right by Jose Ramirez. So the Indians stun the Blue Jays and win the game with 2 in the 7th without the benefit of a base hit. 4 walks and a sacrifice fly, and the Indians get their 4th walk-off win of the season, and this literally was a walk-off win. So the Indians avoid being swept and win the nightcap by a final score of 6-5.